Hey guys, I'm back with another tutorial for you, and today we're going to be learning how I pluck my frontals and my lace front wigs. So we're going to start off by parting out the already plucked portion of the unit. This unit is from WabiWigs, so it is pre-plucked, so we're going to part that out. We're going to use a spray bottle. This is very important because this will actually help the hairs to come out easier than if you were to pluck dry, and it allows you to check your work. So make sure that you have some nice tweezers, and you're just gonna pluck one, skip one, pluck one, skip one. And you want to make sure that when you're plucking a space and then leaving a space and then plucking another space, that you are pulling the hairs out from the root. You don't want to pull out the hairs halfway, because then it's not going to make a difference. What we're trying to do is we're trying to reduce the density of the unit in the front, which will allow there to be a gradient of thin to full, mimicking a natural human hairline. And every time you pluck a little, you're gonna want to comb it out. You see that I have a good amount of hair pulled out. So we're done with that row. We're gonna move on to our next row. And I usually do about 4 rows in total. And you can see the difference. The part that we plucked is thinner and wider than the part that we haven't plucked. It's more dense. So we're just trying to get every part that we part to be thin like that, to not be as dense. So we're gonna spray again, comb back, and then pluck, skip, pluck, skip, pluck, skip. And this is like a time-consuming process. It definitely took me a while. This is sped up. So make sure you're taking your time and giving yourself enough time to be able to do a good job at this. Also, do not pluck in the same place too many times, otherwise there'll be a big bald spot. Make sure you're moving around constantly. Do not pluck in the same place too many times. You see how it's starting to look more like a gradient. That's what we want. That's how you know that you're almost done plucking this section. And then we're going to move on to our third part. And we're going to do the exact same thing. Comb it back, give it a little spritz, and then pluck one, skip one, pluck one, skip one. So now that we've combed it back, you can see that it's starting to look more customized. And now that I've done, I believe I did about 3 layers. What you want to do when you're customizing a unit for yourself or your client is to remove that hairline that comes with the unit. That should not be there on a customized unit. So what you're going to do is the same thing. You're going to pluck one and skip one, but this time in the very front of the unit. This will give your unit the plucked, fully customized look. Then you're going to want to go behind where the line of demarcation is, and you're going to kind of want to pluck through that without the hair being parted. So you can see on the left that there's a line. You can see where the factory plucking has stopped. On the right side where we plucked, there is no line. That's what we're aiming to remove. So I went ahead and I saw the line still there. I could still kind of see it, so I parted exactly there. And I went back and I plucked the hairline again, because we're trying to remove that line of demarcation, the line where the factory plucking has stopped. We want everything to flow naturally, to look like a real hairline. So I went back in and I plucked it further. Plucking is really about checking your work. You're gonna have to comb everything all back and look to see how it's looking periodically, just so you know, hey, do I need to pluck some more, or have I plucked enough? There's no right way to pluck. Everyone has their own system, their own way of doing it. Just make sure you're always checking. So as you can see, like, you can't see that harsh line of demarcation. You can't tell where I started plucking and how the unit came. But on the right side, you can definitely see. You can see the difference. The part that we plucked and finished plucking in comparison to the side by the ear. I wasn't satisfied, so I went back in and I plucked again because I could still kind of see that line of demarcation. And now we're going to check our work. We're going to work on the side of the frontal that we haven't plucked. And it's the same process. You're still going to part behind the hairline at first, part behind the space that's already been factory plucked, and we're going to pluck that. Pluck one, skip one, pluck one, skip one. Same thing. And then once we're done with that, we're gonna pull all of the hair back and get rid of that pre-made hairline. You see how good that looks? Yes. So you can see the line of demarcation as compared to the part we plucked, where there is no line. It all flows naturally. So it still wasn't exactly to my liking, so I went back in and I plucked a little bit more. When you start plucking hair, like, you become a little bit of a perfectionist, and you really just want to get that super natural hairline, especially if it's for a client, which this unit was. So I went back in and I plucked some more. But as you can see, it looks really good and natural. There's no line of demarcation. It all flows beautifully. So you can see the line on the left side as compared to the side that we plucked. So that's what you want to get rid of. That line where it's like, hey, we stopped plucking right here. That's where you want to start plucking. So I went in and parted that, and I'm going to speed this section up so you guys could just watch and see. It's the exact same thing I did on the right side. So as you can see, everywhere is plucked. And I'm just going to go in with my hot comb and press out the hairline. Again, this unit is from my hair company, WabiWigs. I'll leave all of the information for the unit in the comment box down below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe, and comment if you learned something new. Bye!